All right, so are we good to get started then? Yes. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. All right, so like Aisha said that we are going to be talking about sleep today, but I have something to share with you before that. So let's get into it. Right, why are we talking about sleep? So we spend so much time sleeping, or at least trying to sleep, almost 33% of our lives. But I don't think we've ever really been trained on how to sleep or on how to improve the quality of our sleep. And that is a game changer. So I saw a lot of people in the chat were saying that they're not able to sleep, or they're not able to sleep when they want to sleep. So it's exactly because of this reason that we don't spend enough time talking about it. So at least this 40 minutes, we will talk about it, and hopefully you will all get some answers. If not answers, at least you'll have the right questions so that you can go back and get those answers for yourselves. We'll not just talk about sleep, but we will also do a live relaxation technique at the end, because doing it live is more beneficial than anything else that I can tell you, right? So I will do a guided activity
இந்த
here
கேஸ்ல
today.
ரெண்டு
Yeah,
டைம்
so
ஐவி ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்காங்களா 9 o'clock ஒன்னு
I think
4 o'clock
Manasa needs
ஒன்னு
to go on mute.
ரெண்டுலயும் she's given consent
Aisha?
Yes, give me 1 second, I'm trying.
Okay. Yes, that's great.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Right. So like I was saying that in the end, we are going to do a guided activity today together, in which you will experience relaxation and something that you can use before sleeping, even after the session. So I feel that is going to be supremely useful. So stay with us till the end. It's just about 30 minutes. Let's talk. Let's figure out how best to deal with any issues that we are facing when it comes to sleep or relaxation or even mental health. Okay, so you already know me now. Like Aisha said, that I have been practicing meditation since I was 16 years old. I have experimented with a lot of meditation techniques and relaxation tools. So some of them I'll tell you about, and some of them, we'll keep for later. Like Aisha said, that I'm currently working on the platform called Neem. And Neem is a platform which provides content as well as products for better sleep and relaxation. So that's something you can check out later, but let's play a game. Okay, so all of those here, you look at the people on the screen and tell me what do they have in common. So these are all famous personalities. I want you to put in the chat what you think these people have in common. I'll just wait for your responses for a few minutes. Smile. That's sweet. Okay. Success, charm, old age, celebrities, yes. Tired. Okay, Shrajan, why do you think they're all tired? Hair. Winston Churchill, not so much, right, with the hair. Age. Men look old and women don't. Okay. Energy on their faces. Yeah, that is true, but they're also public figures, right? So I think they have to put up with that. Wrinkles. Okay. Any other answers? Passion. Insomnia. Don't see dark circles. No stress, Harjeet. If we look into the personal histories of all these people, I'm pretty sure they have lots of reasons to be stressed. All right, anyway, so thank you for those responses. Some of you got it pretty much correct, but here are some facts about these personalities. I'll just give you a moment to read. Right, so all of these four people are very famous, but they all struggle to sleep well. So George Clooney can't sleep until 8. He talks about this a lot, that whenever he tries to sleep, he can't sleep. So he has to just, while away a lot of time trying to sleep. Jennifer Aniston sleepwalks. So this is something that she has publicly stated. Madonna sleeps, but she feels that she hasn't slept well. So whenever she wakes up, she feels that she spent all those times, 7, 8 hours, being in bed and sleeping. But when she wakes up, she's still feeling tired. And Winston Churchill is very famous for, saying that he needs his daytime nap. And even during the war, even during the most biggest political crisis, he would always say that he needs to sleep when he needs to sleep. So these things have been quoted in a lot of humor in the public domain. But honestly, these are some really serious sleep disorders. And these public figures have come out in the open and spoken about it, not in the sense of admitting or addressing a sleep issue, but that doesn't change the fact that they have all been struggling and they are not the only ones. So when we look at the stats within the country, we see that sleep disorders are uh, something that affects almost 30% people occasionally, 15 to 20% people regularly. And here we're talking about insomnia, that is the inability to fall asleep. It is one of the most widely recorded sleep disorders, but the problem with sleep disorder is that a lot of times we don't even know that we are struggling with a disorder. So the cause and effect relationship between sleeping and our life outcomes is not very well established in a lot of for a lot of people. So maybe once again, if you could tell me what is the kind of sleep disorder that you face, right? So we heard the 4 kinds of disorders that these celebrities were facing. There is insomnia, and there are a lot of other types of sleep disorders as well. So there is sleep apnea, there is narcolepsy, restless leg syndrome, 24-hour sleep-wake disorder, excessive sleepiness. So I really want to know if there is anything specific that you either have already diagnosed or you suspect that this could be something that you face, right? Sleep apnea commonly results in snoring. And again, that is something that is a very widespread sleeping related issue. So do tell me in the chat if there's anything specific that you're dealing with, struggling with. Um, and we will try to get you more targeted help on that. But right now, let's talk more generally, more commonly. Insomnia is one of the things that people struggle with. But it's important to know what are the reasons that impact sleep. Okay, Purva. All right, Akanksha, Susan, sleep apnea. All right. Okay. So, the first step to solving any problem is to figure out what is the problem. And if you haven't yet figured out what your issue is, take the test. There are sleep tests available online with which you can get a sleep profile. So figure that out. And first, let's understand what is it that we are dealing with. Once we know that, it's very important to know what are the factors that impact sleep, right? So there are a lot of different reasons why sleep is impacted. And I have some of them here. You can also put in chat if there is anything else that you feel becomes a cause of sleeplessness for you. But let me talk about some of the major ones. Firstly, poor physical health, right? A lot of times we ignore this factor when we think about sleep. But if there is any vitamin deficiency, if there is any hormonal imbalance, it is bound to impact the sleep cycle in your body. So if you're not able to sleep and if you think it's a chronic issue, try to establish the link between your physical health and the symptoms that you're facing in form of any sleep related challenge. Then, like yes, Neha said, there are mental health issues. So if you're continuously facing stress situations, if you feel you have depressive episodes or continued depression, any performance related issues, anything that keeps coming back to you again and again. We all have thoughts, but when a thought doesn't leave our mind, that's when it becomes an issue. So if there's any recurring thought that is troubling you, becomes a very big factor in creating a sleep disorder. And later in this presentation, I will share some ways of how to overcome this. And we'll also, like I said, try to overcome this with the guided meditation technique. Then there are lifestyle related issues. So you may not have a diagnosed clinical, physical, or mental health related challenge, but it could just be any lifestyle related activity or lifestyle related habits that you have formed, which are impacting your sleep quality or sleep overall. So, poor eating habits is a big one in that. Lack of having a proper night care routine is also a factor. So, when you use a lot of devices right before sleeping and don't give yourself the time to unwind, that again leads to sleep issues. Another factor which is very important, and I wanted to highlight, hence I have it here, is age and gender. So, age and gender significantly impact uh, the kind of sleep that you're going to have. Within gender, for example, when women are going through different cycles, that's when different days of the month can have a different impact on how well you sleep or don't. So it's important to know, why is it that we're having a sleep issue? Is it related to your health, mental health, lifestyle, age, gender? And once you figured it out, it's much easier to, to adopt a solution that caters to this. So think about this. If you already have something identified, that's a great start to fixing this problem. And if you don't have it yet identified, then think about these factors and see what could it be for you. Yes. Hi, Kumar. We will talk about this. And let me go on to the next slide. Before that, let me finish this question. What type is this sleep disorder? I fear not falling asleep when I hit the bed. Okay. So I will be sharing my email ID at the end of this presentation. And anything that's super personal, we can take it offline. We can also put you in touch with some sleep coaches and sleep experts. So if you want a more detailed profile analysis, we can help you get that done. So Kumar, I'm just moving on for now, and let's take more questions or anything that's more specific, either at the end of the session or offline. All right, so we talked about the fact that many factors impact sleep. Let's also talk about the fact that sleep impacts many aspects of our health. I think this is more than common knowledge that sleep impacts our health, but let's look at how. Firstly, emotions. Uh, there is a study which says that when you haven't slept properly, 60% more reactive your brain gets, the part of the brain which is responsible for emotional reactions. So if you're feeling cranky or irritable or angry, it could be because of lack of sleep, and therefore sleep becomes very, very important. Again, your cardiovascular slash heart related health is also impacted by how well you're sleeping, because when you sleep, there is a low pressure in the heart, in the body. And when there is low pressure in the body, that is when the body actually repairs itself. So if you're having prolonged periods of lack of sleep, your cardiovascular health is not getting the rest that it needs. And that impacts the overall functions of the body. Then there is immunity. So there was another study which actually established that any vaccine that you take, especially for example, when everyone was taking COVID vaccines, people who were not sleeping enough, their vaccines or their shots were actually less effective. So something to keep in mind, right? Like sleep is, yes, it makes you feel good, but it also has very long lasting and more, uh, I would say, more long term impacts as well. Then hunger. This is something that is another cause and effect relationship between sleep and how our body reacts. So there are two hormones in the body, ghrelin and leptin. And these hormones are responsible for how much we feel like eating. So you might have noticed that when you can't sleep, you also feel like you want to get a midnight snack or you want to binge on something. And the reverse is also true. When you eat a lot, you feel like sleeping. So there is a certain balance between these two hormones that decides how much we want to sleep, and the sleep in turn decides how much we feel like eating. So any unhealthy eating or people who also face weight issues, there again, sleep is a major factor in controlling those disorders or those lifestyle habits, which may be leading to certain negative outcomes for you. Now, let's talk about productivity, right? And how sleep impacts productivity. So, there is a whole lot of research on this, but I'm just going to share some very, very simple and interesting ideas on how sleep impacts productivity. So, you might have heard whenever we're in a situation where we're not getting enough answers or we're stuck in a problem and we don't know how to solve it, what is the common solution? Everyone's like, okay, let me sleep on it and we'll figure it out in the morning. Why is it that sleeping on it is impactful, or why do you think sleeping on it has become such a common common solution to being stuck in an intellectual problem? If you have any responses in the chat, I'd love to hear your thoughts, while I'll also share what my research tells me. And I have this on the screen. So tell me in the chat if sleeping on it has ever been useful for you whenever you were stuck in a situation where you thought you don't have any more answers. We'll have a fresh mind. Yes. Okay. Okay, Jay, it works for you too. So have you woken up feeling that, okay, now I'm ready to deal with this problem? And magically, sometimes it also feels like you have an answer to a problem that you did not have when you went to bed. Yes, it works. Okay, right. So the consensus is that sleeping on it does work. And now let's figure out why. The science behind it is that when we sleep, three things are happening in the mind. Okay. First, whatever we have inputted in the brain throughout the day, especially during the 2-3 hours before we sleep, all of that gets saved. So imagine that there is a pen drive in the brain, and everything that you have loaded in the pen drive actually gets saved when you sleep. The other thing that happens is whenever you're sleeping, whatever you have saved starts getting repeated in your mind. So musicians use this technique a lot, and I myself, I'm a classically trained singer, and this is something that I have experienced too, that whatever you practice right before you go to bed, when you wake up, that piece or that pattern in your mind becomes much stronger than how it was when you went to sleep. So the brain has a tendency to keep repeating whatever was inputted into it right before you slept. So that is the repeat function. And then third, and I feel this is the most important function of sleep, is the connecting function. So if you have lots of different files in your brain, right, lots of different things being inputted during the day and right before you're sleeping, all of that comes together while you're sleeping. So a lot of interconnected webs are formed in your mind between the neurons right before that were fired and during your sleep duration. So because of these three things, your memory gets better, your problem solving ability gets better. If you're not able to recall what's the answer to something, chances are when you wake up, there is going to be an answer. So that is why getting a good night's sleep is non-negotiable for a healthy, happy, successful life. So all of you here who are on this platform today, I really wish and hope that sleep is something that doesn't get compromised for you. And if it is, then please actively seek out help and fix it. Yeah. So like I said, it is very important to have a good night's sleep. All right, so now let's quickly talk about a few steps that we can follow. This is the long-term solution to fixing any sleep-related issues. And I broadly touched on this earlier. We have to first accept that there is a problem. And a lot of you did that today in the chat. So thank you for that. And that is the first step. So that will help you towards the other steps, which is awareness, figuring out what is the kind of problem that you're facing, what are the factors, then talking about the solutions. Finally, once you do that, you have to start tracking your sleep. So if someone's facing a chronic issue, start tracking what is it that you did before and after sleeping, what was the quality of your sleep. There are certain devices as well which help you track this. This is a very important input if you're trying to get a long-term solution for your challenge. Then, of course, iterating it, you have to track it and apply the solutions and then see how it's compounding over time. A shorter term method is to use our five senses, right? So the five senses of sound, sight, smell, touch, and taste, all of these senses have a different impact on our mind and state of mind right before we're sleeping. So you can experiment what works for you. If you like, you can try some of our relaxing sleep stories, sleep music on the named app. There we have really soothing sound related sensory input content, which you can try. So do give it a try. And you can also try some other sensory inputs related to imagining, visualizing, having certain fragrances in the room, figuring out the kind of touch or warmth that is right for you. And sometimes you can also experiment with tea, milk, and any other taste related or sensory inputs which change the way your brain has processed the last taste, right? So that is something that you can try as well. What is also very important is to know what not to do when you can't sleep, right? So generally, what do? We either do nothing, right? So if we can't sleep, we just toss and turn and we hope that we'll sleep. Try not to get into that pattern. Don't try to look at the screen 2 hours before you go to bed, especially if you're facing an issue. If you have to do that, please use Blu-ray filters for your specs. And if not, you can just have a zero power specs. So that Blu-ray filter is very important to navigate or counter the impact of screen time. Consumption of alcohol, binge eating, again, these are certain patterns that we have to break out of. So please make a note of these patterns, and you have to push yourself to not do these things when you can't sleep. What you can do, try reducing the temperature. So this is something that works for a lot of people. Leave the bed, come back later. If you can't sleep, don't stay on the bed, right? Go to another place in your room. You can read, you can, even if you have to watch something, do it outside of your bed. So that your mind knows that whenever you're on the bed, it is time for sleep. So don't stay sleepless on your bed. Try journaling. That is something that is extremely useful, and we can do a session about that in the future sometime. Relax your mind and body with meditation. So this is something that we are going to experience now. And trust me, if you can relax your mind before you hit the bed, you will have a better quality of sleep when you finally sleep. So think about sleeping as a process that starts even before you sleep. And like I said, like I promised, that we will be doing a live relaxation technique right now. It would be great to know in the chat how many of you have tried a meditation technique before. And if not, then I am going to do something super easy with you right now. And I just want to see your thumbs up if you're ready to do it with me. So have you done it before? Yes and no? And are you ready to do it now? Ready to do it now. Great. So all those who want to try it, just sit comfortably wherever you are, right? If you're on a chair, just straighten up your back a little bit. And this is actually very helpful for an end of the day, as an end of the day exercise, which means that even when you're at office, you can do it on your chair. If you're in the car, you can do it while you're traveling. If you're at home, you can do it on your bed, you can do it on the floor, wherever you are, just sit comfortably. Make sure that your head, neck, and spine are in one line. Yeah. So that the top of your head is towards the roof. It's not tilting backwards and it's not tilting forward. It's straight. Yes, that's great. Just loosen your shoulders. Yeah, whatever tension you're feeling here, just relax, roll forward and roll backwards. Great. Just relax now. Keep your palms open and put them in your lap. So your shoulders need to be relaxed and your palms need to be facing the roof or the sky. Yes. That's great. Let's just put on some music. All right. Close your eyes. Now, for the next few minutes, you only have to listen to my voice. Okay? Take a deep breath in. And breathe out. Take another deep breath in. And let it go completely. Put a gentle smile on your face. Even if you had a hard day, just smile. Keep your eyes closed. And now we will do a visualization technique where I will do a body scan guided flow, and whatever part of the body I ask you to bring your attention to, just very casually think about that body part. And think that that body part is filled with very energetic, fresh blue color. All right. For example, when I ask you to bring your attention to your right foot, just visualize your right foot and think that it is full of fresh blue color. Your right knee, right thigh, and right hip. Imagine the whole of your right leg is completely relaxed and feel the freshness of blue color in your right leg. When you think of blue, you can think of the oceans, the skies, now bring your attention to your left foot, left knee, left thigh, left hip, and the whole of your left leg. Feel that your entire left leg is completely relaxed and feel the freshness of blue color in your left leg. Now bring your attention to your lower back. Relax your lower back completely and imagine it is full of fresh blue color. Your upper back, the whole of your back, imagine it is full of fresh blue color and completely relaxed. Take a deep breath in and breathe out, relaxing your back and both your legs. Bring your attention to your right arm, your left arm. Imagine the whole of your left arm is full of blue color. Bring your attention to your stomach. Feel it relaxing. Your chest, your shoulders, and your neck. Imagine your entire body below the neck is full of fresh blue color, feeling completely relaxed. Bring your attention to your face, and the top of your head. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, imagine your whole body is full of blue color. fresh, relaxing blue color of the oceans and of the skies. Take one more deep breath in and breathe out completely. You can open your eyes whenever you feel complete and relaxed. Hope you enjoyed this meditation. You can tell me in the chat if you liked it. And I will now stop sharing my screen. Please just participate in the poll question and let us know how the session was for you. We can also take any questions. I'm glad, Varun. Thanks, Sheelam, Sachin. I'm very happy you joined and that you're feeling great. If you like the meditation, you please can check out our app. It's called Neend. So Surbhi has already put that in the chat box. I'll write it again. This is the name of the app. Feel free to visit it, download it, and there are lots of interesting, exciting meditations on the app. You can check them out. There's also sleep stories, which will help you get relaxed even more. And yes, let me know if there are any questions.
Yes, we are up for taking the questions. If anything, if you are okay, we can unmute and you can unmute and ask the questions, or you can drop them in the chat box. If there's anything personal questions as well, we'll either take it. You can share it in our private DMs. I mean, privately, or you can share in the emails as well. I should be happy to help.
Yes, if there is any technical sleep related question, we'll be happy to put in touch with our sleep expert. Meanwhile, hope you get deep relaxation over this festive season. Do check out our content. What is your opinion on melatonin supplements, as these are hormone altering? Hi, Rohit. So we also have melatonin-based sleep gummies on the platform, and there are no side effects on these gummies. So you can check them out, and these will not be hormone altering for you. For people who have iOS, you can use the app on Spotify. We also upload content on our YouTube channel, so you can engage with us there. Thanks, Sachin. I'm great that you already like the app. Varun, any food that leads to good sleep? Okay, so it's not about a particular food item. It's about when you eat, how much you eat. And for example, there are certain food items which are harder to digest. And when your body is spending a lot more energy on trying to digest, it may alter your sleep patterns. But this is something very individual. It depends on a lot of other factors, what your lifestyle is like, when are you sleeping. So again, this is something that we should talk one-to-one about. But yeah, there are supplements that help with sleep. So for example, melatonin sleep gummies, they are very, very helpful. You can try those out in addition to whatever it is, whatever dietary plan you're following. All right. So it was great meeting you all. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much, Noah, for facilitating this session. Yes, please, everyone, stay in
Yes.
touch. You have my email ID.
Thank you so much, Arushi. We have one more question. Let's take this as well. Is it true that early dinner will help for sleep?
So it depends how early, right? So it shouldn't be so early that by the time you're going to bed, you start wanting to feel like you have to eat again. And it shouldn't be so late that your body does not feel like it's in rest mode. So 2.5 hours is generally 2.5 hours before sleeping is generally the right time when you should eat. And ideally, you should try to sleep and eat at the same time every day. So that's when your body knows when it's sleeping and when it's resting, when it's waking. Do you recommend to sleep in breaks, 6 hours in night, 2 hours in the noon? Hi, Neha. So there is literature that supports that there is no fixed pattern of sleeping. So an 8-hour sleep is recommended for your nighttime. If actually 6 to 8 hours is what's recommended. And other than that, if you have any other condition, right? So for example, a lot of people have certain health conditions for which they need to sleep a little more or less. Then, for example, if you're on your monthly cycles or if there are any pregnancy related issues, then again, there is a different sleep cycle that needs to be followed. But in general, an afternoon nap or sleeping 2 hours in the noon is all right if it does not impact your sleep at night. So if you feel that sleeping in the afternoon is leading to lack of sleep at night, then avoid it. If not, then that's totally okay. And Surbhi, yes, you can jump in. Feel free to unmute, Surbhi. So Surbhi is the founder of the Neem app, and she has been extensively reading about and researching about sleep. So Surbhi, if there's anything that you want to say, please unmute and feel free.
Hey guys. Hi everyone. So additional to what Arushi was saying, basically there's every sleep cycle is of 90 minutes. In that 90-minute cycle, you go through basically light sleep to then deep sleep and then come back to the light sleep. And then our sleep is basically happened in chunks of this 90-minute cycle. So I would advise that whatever number of hours you are able to sleep in the multiple of 90 minutes, basically. So for example, if you are able to sleep somewhere close to 5 hours, sleep either for 4.5 hours or sleep for then 6 hours. Don't do like 5 hours or so. Otherwise, when you'll wake up, you'll basically wake up out of your deep sleep mode, and probably you'll feel thoda crankiness or heavy head or something like that. This is to answer your question, Neha, that 6 hours night, 2 hours in the noon. In the noon, if you are sleeping, then either take a full cycle, 1.5 hours, which is 90-minute cycle, which will then automatically subtract from your night sleep cycle. So if you are naturally sleeping for 9 hours, let's say, which is, sorry to make it more complicated, but I just wanted to give you a right answer. So if it's a 9-hour cycle for you, if you sleep for 9 hours, then out of that, this 90-minute will subtract, and you'll only sleep for 7.5 hours, basically. Yeah. But however you want to sleep, it's fine. Whatever works for you, you should feel fresh, even if you are sleeping either continuously or in breaks or so. That's it on this question. The next question was, when I'm not getting sleep, I sit in front of my system or mobile. Is that fine? So as Arushi was saying, that if you're not able to sleep, just get out of the bed, do whatever you want to do. Avoid devices if in case you can do, because then again, those would trigger some other thoughts, and like so much information consumption will again make you think, make your brain active. So do some activities which are basically making you feel more relaxed and gets you out of the concentration or focus mode rather than getting into that. So for example, you can just do some walk in your own room, read a book which is boring to you or something like that, which can make you feel sleepy. Okay.
We have a few more questions.
Yeah.
Aisha, how do you suggest we take it forward?
Yeah, sure. Let me read Srajan's question. Does waking up by an external factor like a alarm or someone smashing the door will affect the brain? It could have been one of the cycles that you mentioned. I mean, it disturbs your mood the whole day, probably. Like even I feel the same. Does it affect in some way?
It does, as I said. So it depends when that event is happening, right? So if it's happening when you are almost about to wake up naturally itself, then it's fine. But if it's happening when you are somewhere deep in your sleep cycle, then it would definitely impact, and you'll feel that grogginess and crankiness or heavy head wala feeling in the morning. So it does. So, and that's the reason so basically everyone should fix their falling asleep time, and that would naturally make you wake up in the morning on the same time on everyday basis.
Okay. Sriraj is asking, I've had good as in work for me, sleeping habits sporadically 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. But I've found the habit hard to sustain long term. Any tips? Thanks for the session.
I think this is the hardest. Like all of us are trying to do that, and it's sort of difficult. But yeah, if you one thing which worked for me is keeping couple of things constant. So for example, if I keep my meal times fixed, for example, that every day at 12 I have my lunch, every day at 7-ish when I'm having lunch. After 3-4 hours, I'll naturally fall asleep. So having couple of constants in life generally help. There's no other honestly fix to this. There's no like shortcut to this as well.
There's just
We're
something
all
that I want
trying.
to add here. So for example, if you're trying to, like if you're aiming to sleep at 11, you have to get into the zone of wanting to sleep at least 1.5 hours, 2 hours before that. So if you think that, okay, now it's 11, I should be falling asleep, that is something that our bodies are not trained for. So the winding down process should happen before that. And for that, you don't need a habit per se. You can try different things or different ways to unwind. Just make sure that there is enough buffer between when you actually want to sleep and when you start your unwinding process.
Yeah. For some reason, if you're not able to sleep, then you can obviously try different things. For example, music, stories, etc. Whatever helps you. Even there are a couple of practices which helps you make the entire process of winding down or sleeping much faster as compared to like you would have done it naturally.
Also, Arushi mentioned about the sleep gummies, right? So how does it help exactly? I would like to know, and probably the audience would also like to know.
Sure. So let me take that question. So the gummies actually have a couple of natural elements along with the melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone which is supposed to release from our body, but it gets triggered because of the darkness. If you think about earlier times when, like, like in evening at 7, 8, like the entire like environment used to get darker. And I'm talking about like 100 years back, probably, when the artificial light was not there. People used to fall asleep much quicker or earlier. Now, since we are continuously in this artificial light, this melatonin release in our body is impacted severely, and it's not happening naturally or organically itself. So these melatonin gummies, what we have, along with a couple of other elements into it, which are all organic, etc. It helps you to get that external supplement for the melatonin. Now, how much melatonin do you need, and is this excessive or lesser? I think everyone should start from the small doses of melatonin, but don't worry much about it, because if you take even additional, melatonin only stays in your blood or body even for a couple of hours, and it flushes down the entire additional melatonin, which is not required at all. So, and this also helps to regulate your sleep cycle. So for example, if someone is sleeping at 4 p.m., sorry, 4 a.m. or even 4 p.m. as well. And if you want to sleep at whatever XYZ hours, these gummies actually help you to fall asleep within like 15-20 minutes or so. And it wouldn't make you sleep for long time or something like that. You wouldn't sleep longer basically. It would just make you feel sleepy quickly and then have a better quality sleep. But your number of hours of sleep would probably be in the same range only.
Got it. Thank you, Surabhi, for picking this up. Also, another question. I put on headphones or music for sleep. So does putting something on your ears makes any issues with that?
No, I think it's completely fine if it doesn't irritate you. If it, in case it irritates you and impacts your sleep, and because of the like the earphones, etc. If you're waking up in the night, then it's a trouble. So otherwise, it's fine, I guess.
Okay. Actually, whenever I'm going to sleep at night at 10 p.m., but I sleeping approximately at 1 a.m. and wake up at 6 a.m. So whole day feels lazy and eyes are burning. So can you suggest how to deal with the situation and stay fresh whole day?
I'm really sorry. This is like this depends on a lot of factors. So I wouldn't be able to comment it like this without knowing like more about your routines, your physical health, mental health, and bunch of other stuff. So this one is like, this is not like a practice which I can like, suggest like this, or anyone can. So we can take it more like one-on-one if in case required.
Yeah, Sachin,
So,
you
Yes,
have our email IDs. You can reach out to us and we'll try to get you a sleep profile analysis.
yeah, I can just have like 10-15 minutes separate call with you and help you. So
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Surbi, as well,
Thank
for
you.
getting on the call. And Arushi, thank you so much for the
Thanks.
session and great meditation we had.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for doing this with Noah. And we hope we can do more sessions like this together soon. And thank you so much, guys, for joining the session. Have a great weekend and great
Thank
days
you.
ahead.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
And
Have
good
a nice
night, everybody. Have a good sleep.
Thank you, everyone. Good night. Bye.